No one really cares. How many times have you said, no one really cares about my story? No one really cares about my life. No one really cares about me as an individual. How many times have you said that? I would venture to say that a lot of you have, and I am no different. What happens is when we say no one really cares in our mind, what we begin to do is we begin to shrink down. We start to feel less than, and we also hide. And so today, what I want to do briefly is I want to talk about why you need to understand that that narrative of no one really cares is a story that you've made up in your head about the story of your life and how it really does matter. And the fact that you believing no one really cares only is shrinking you down and not allowing you to be able to speak and profess what it is that you have to bring to the world. So, if you're joining me live here today, yes, I am in my car office. Yes, I'm safe. For those of you who are worried about people driving, I'm not driving at the moment. I am pulled over on the side of the road in a very safe, secure spot to be able to talk to you about why I care and why you need to care about your story and why you need to care about your life and the importance it is for you to bring that story, your life to the world. So, I want to share this with you because a lot of you are sitting on a gold mine. You're sitting on the gold mine of your life. And there is a specific task, a specific assignment that you have to bring to the world. And a lot of it has to do with your personal story. So I remember when I was thinking about sharing my story and writing my book, I had so many people tell me because I would often share, about my life and the interesting twists and turns that it had. And I would always say, I mean, who cares? Who cares about that? Because I was looking for evidence from people around me that I mattered. I was consistently looking for affirmation by the way people looked at me, by the way that people spoke to me. And if there was an inkling of it reminding me of people who put me down in my past, who bullied me in my past, who made me feel less than, I just shrunk. Right. And I would really just fade into the like shadows. And I think the reason why I really started to do that was because growing up, everything for all of us, our stories really have to do with our childhood, right? And growing up, if I would say something and I would say it loud, or if I'd say something that was different and unique, people would look at me like, what? That's just so weird. What are you talking about? And it would make me feel so self-conscious. And it was as if from that point, I was dismissed, right? Like, just people would turn away, and then I would just feel so, like, strange and feel so insecure. And that carried on through my life, and I thought that going to college, getting a degree, making myself look extra special with a whole bunch of big titles and a status would make me feel like someone really cared. Where in reality, the biggest thing that I needed to be able to do was I had to convince myself that I care about my story, that I care about what I have to say. And that was a long and tedious process because I would often find myself reading books, going to seminars, going to personal development classes, going to professional development classes. And the reason why I would do all of that extra training and that extra learning was to make myself feel important. And it was like everybody was telling me all these things that I was important, but it wasn't until I started to believe that I was. It wasn't until I actually shared my story. You heard me speak, if you heard me talk on Monday in my live, I was talking about the conversation that I had with Steve Kroll. And Steve Kroll at this company asked me, Diana, what's your personal story? We're running this real life campaign. We want to know about your personal story. And of course, I had so much shame and I had so much doubt and insecurity about my own personal story. I was about to deny myself the opportunity to do something pretty big at this company. And it wasn't until I had that conversation with Steve, like, bearing it all, like crying and feeling overly self-conscious, that my whole life changed. Everything changed. And the beautiful part about that story and me sharing my story with Steve Kroll was that a whole myriad of things began to open up in my life, right? And I talk about this in my book, Inspiration in My Shoes. But the reason I'm coming to you live today is because you have to convince yourself that you matter. You have to convince yourself that you care. You care enough about your life. You care enough about your story that you know that it is so powerful. And it doesn't matter your past. You might think, oh, well, I didn't have a lot of trauma. I didn't have a lot of abuse. I didn't have all these problems. I didn't have all this stuff. Well, that's because you think you have to have all of those things happening in your life to be able to share about your life. And that's a lie. That's a story that you're telling yourself. And so I just want you to know that you're sitting on the most beautiful thing that you could ever share with the world. It's your story. And so I really want to convince you today to be able to get over that negative story that no one cares. The most important person that needs to care is you. You are the most important person that needs to care about you, care about your story, about your life. This is so critical, especially in the age of artificial intelligence. You see, while other people are going out telling you the importance of tapping into artificial intelligence, learning about how you can know things right away. That's important. Absolutely. Not denying that that is important. But what you and I need to work on is, but what distinguishes you from artificial intelligence? What superior, most beautiful, highly impactful intelligence do you have in you? What is it that's going to separate you from everyone else? I am giving you your competitive advantage because, as an athlete, former athlete, always an athlete, I learned that once you get to a certain level, you have to learn what distinguishes you. What is your qualifying, unique selling proposition, your USP? What is your unique selling proposition? It's you. And the fact that you care about what it is that you're bringing to the world is your unique selling proposition. Put in the chat, share. I have a unique selling proposition, and it's me. It's my story. I will not shrink down. I will not allow other people to determine the importance of my story. You're allowing that. You're allowing that. And I want you to shift that. Now, I know that this is challenging. I know it's difficult because no one ever taught you how to care about you. No one. You were taught about your trade, but everyone knows in sales, like for example, if you're a salesperson, you know the most important thing to do when you're trying to sell a product or sell a service, it doesn't matter what you're selling, story matters. And the fact that you care about your stories and your life and how certain things impact you, that's what sells. You know that the most important thing when you watch a movie or you watch something that's inspiring, it's story. It's storytelling. That's the reason why I come live. That's the reason why I tell you that storytelling, me sharing my heart with you, is what's going to help you understand the importance of you. So I wanted to share this with you right quick. I'm unable to go live for a long period of time. But if you watch this and you say, Diane, I really want to join this conversation, this is something that really impacts me and it's something I really want to talk more about, then we're going to go live again. I didn't schedule my time right this morning, but we'll go live again on this very topic. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about this and I want you to say, I love my unique selling proposition. My unique selling proposition is my story. It's my life. It is important for you to understand it, love it, grasp it, remove the negative story that you have around your story, and that it does matter. And you are the person who has to care most about it. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? This is critical. All right. So if this is something that is of value to you, one, say, this is of value to me in the comments. And if this is a conversation you want to have and go deeper on, say that too. And then also too, I want you to get a part of our community, the Rise with Diana community, right? I want you to learn and get into, enveloping, immersing yourself in this most important critical aspect of life called you. So I want you to come a part of our Rise with Diana community. If this is something that you really, really want, then I want you to put in the comments, I want to join your community. And I will make certain that you get on our list. Okay. In the meantime, I promise I will be joining you live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. We will be going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I care. Do you care? Do you care about your story? All right. Well, let's make certain that we do that and make certain that we continue to rise. All right, my friends. We'll see you next time. See you Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Make certain you put in the comments about what we just talked about. All right.